Hello, everybody, and welcome to Brooks Knows Baseball, our regularly podcast that comes out every Monday morning around 7 to 9 a.m. I guess it really doesn't matter. It just comes out every Monday morning. But today we're going to do a little different, maybe switch up the format a bit. We're still going to talk about stats and everything like that. But before we go ahead and dive into, I guess, the main stories that we want to talk about today, let everyone know if you are here right now watching this podcast, please like it, share it, give us a follow if you are impressed. But, John, I think this might be a little bit long-winded what I'm about to say, so if you would like to say anything before I jump in here, please feel free to go ahead and do so.
Well, no, I was just going to get into the teams and stats and stuff like that to start with, but go ahead with yours, and then we'll hit the stats secondary.
So there's two things I guess, want to discuss today. The first one would be Gunnar Henderson, and I know.
Hey, wait a minute.
Okay, I can't say what I think you're doing over there, but
Choking.
yeah. Um, uh, Yeah, but again, we know this is not an Orioles show, but Gunnar Henderson was the number one consensus, just about consensus number one overall prospect going into the
You
year.
could
So
put Anthony Volpe in that too.
not as bad. But I want to talk about Gunnar Henderson and his regression, and I guess the outlook, what should happen, what I believe should happen, and then I want to also talk about the draconian blackout restrictions that MLB Network has.
Hopefully that'll change.
Just due today, like for me personally, I own the MLB package. I purchased it, and it typically works out great. Apart from I can't watch the Texas Rangers or the Houston Astros, who are like 7 hours away from me. Not really making much sense there. But I guess we'll talk on the blackout restrictions since we're already on that. So the Orioles today, I understand the Major League Baseball is trying to grow the game, but the blackout restrictions, I read a report, someone wrote it, I can't remember, I think it's probably The Athletic. 10%, no, it was Rob Manfred who said this, 10% of St. Louis can watch the Cardinals. 10%. I don't think they would even want to watch them right now, but
Well,
that's not the point.
let
The
me ask
point.
you this: but if they have cable, they could get it, right?
Cable is no one, I mean, cable's dying. What are the people
Well,
your age have cable? People my age do not have cable.
maybe they should because I get every game I want.
Well, it's too expensive, and everything's going to streaming.
Well, if you want to see it, I mean, so my cable, I don't know how much a month, but it's not breaking us, and
Cable is probably around $150 a month.
I mean, I could probably do something different by it because all I care about is baseball anyway.
YouTube
Sports.
TV. I had YouTube TV. They didn't have it. They don't have local sports. You obviously get ESPN, Fox, that stuff, but you don't get local sports networks. I've had Hulu in the past. They didn't get Valley. I've had Sling. They had the Rangers for about a week and then they got rid of them, so I got rid of Sling. I've had Tubi, or not Tubi. Tubi don't show sports. Fubu. I've had all those, and they don't show regional sports teams typically. You might get NBCSN or something like that, but really the only options that you have to purchase full blown cable, and there's nothing wrong with that. I've looked into obviously Dish and DirecTV and everything like that, but everyone says that the price is $79.99 or whatever it is. Well, then after the fees, taxes, everything else, it's $149 a month. I don't want to pay that much. I have an MLB package. I'm thinking like $24 a month, $25 a month.
I pay $139 a year for it.
Yeah, well, if I paid outright, I don't want to pay outright either.
And I
guess it's not making much sense.
with cable, I get all the nationally broadcast game. Like today, Baltimore and Atlanta was on at 11:30 this morning. I saw that. I got ESPN game of the week. I get all kind of things.
Let me ask you a question.
Well, man, okay, go ahead now. I'll tell you something.
Does MLB want more fans in their 60s or more fans in their 20s?
Well, I agree, but
so who's having? I'm saying who has?
Why
cable?
is everybody giving up cable? You got to pay for what you want.
Cable's dying.
What, shouldn't?
You're a guy in 2005 who said the newspaper's strong and it's going to last, and it's not.
Yeah, well, and I hate that too.
Well, that's hit you closer than a lot of people understand about the newspaper going under. But it's just that's the way it's going to go. I'm able. I have right now. I have Hulu, and I pay like $17 a month because I have ESPN Plus with it and everything like that. And I also get an MLB package.
Well,
but finding the Orioles game today was the biggest pain in my ass in the world. I'm not going to say how I watched it, but I eventually got to watching it. But it's just it's ridiculous, you know. It's like I'm reading here. If you live in Guam, you can't watch the San Francisco Giants or the Oakland Athletics. Like let me just put my your home address in there, or your home zip code, and you can't watch the Orioles or the Nationals if you live there. If you don't have cable, what if you can't afford cable? What if you just want to watch a couple baseball games here and there? You can't do it. You can't
Well,
do it. It's ridiculous. So then
well,
people
hold
are
on.
going to turn to illegal streaming, and that's what a lot of people are doing, and they don't like that either. They should wipe out the
Well,
blackout. It's
hold on,
stupid.
hold on before you get your bowels in an uproar. You need to remember, if you listened like I did to Rob Manfred's speech early on in the year in spring training, he said that this Bally's thing is probably going over and they're going to revisit the blackout because he doesn't like it either.
I know, because it's a stupid rule. It's a dumb rule. I think
Well,
all
why
sports do
can't
it.
they?
I remember
If
in
they,
college, I got the NBA package, and I couldn't even watch the Wizards, and I was like 5 hours, probably 4 or 5 hours away from DC.
uh,
It was
well, let me
ridiculous.
ask you this: why don't they just kick back some of the profit they make from the baseball package or something and give that to those networks, and then they try to make up for what they might lose by not having cable? You know.
I just think it's terrible. It's
Well,
hurting the game.
NFL blacks
It's
out
not
games.
growing the game.
NFL blacks out games. People can't. For years, you couldn't watch a game near Jacksonville, right? Because
Until
they didn't
Shad
have
got
enough
him.
attendance.
Yeah, try that now, homeboy.
Well, yeah, for now.
But yeah, yeah. Well, the NFL pretty much says if you don't support the team locally, then you don't get to watch the team locally. That's different. If that was the case, you wouldn't be able to watch the Athletics anywhere. They wouldn't even show them on TV. They wouldn't show the Rays on TV most of the time. They wouldn't show the Orioles weekday games. It's just it's dumb and it hurts the game. It does not help the game. I
I
mean,
agree. It's all
yeah,
about money, man. It's
I
big
know
business.
I'm right. I know I'm right. I typically am right.
So it's all
But
about
it's
big business.
just it's a letdown. Like I said,
Hey,
MLB
let me
Network,
tell
it
you this.
works.
Hey, when I was growing up, you had the game of the week on Saturday and Monday night, and that's all you had.
It was like 1969, Holmes. You watched
Well,
Mickey Mantle take his last at bat, probably.
I'm not quite that old, but I did see Brooks Robinson playing Hank Aaron and Willie Mays and all that. I seen Willie Mays in person, but anyway,
Yeah, you said you saw Henry Aaron play. That could mean you were born in the 40s or the 70s.
I wasn't born in the 40s and definitely not as late as the 70s. But
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah, you're
but
born
this,
somewhere northeast. I
I'm,
know that. But
I'm
anyway, speaking of Hank Aaron, Hammer and Hank, let's talk about another player who is, I would say, the anti Hank Aaron. Would you agree? The anti Tony Gwynn. What other comparisons would you make of this? The anti
who are we talking about?
Gunnar Henderson, the
Well,
next thing.
hey, give the guy. He's everywhere he's been coming up through this farm, the minors. He started off slow, so
Don't
you know
matter. You
I
don't
do
you don't
think
get this long of a chance to hit. He's lost. It's not like he's hit Mountcastle when his average dipped to 200. He was hitting the ball.
right.
His hard hit rate was up. He's not even sniffing the ball. He's coming up with bases loaded. They had a chance to sweep the Braves the last 2 nights, and they choked it away. Brandon Hyde last night because he's an idiot, and then today they couldn't execute because of
Well,
players
let me
like him.
ask you a question. Why did he take Bauman out after he went through the heart of Atlanta's order? 1, 2, 3, looked good.
It's an Orioles show, though. Yes, I agree. This is not an Orioles. This is Gunnar Henderson. But players like Gunnar Henderson on the Orioles, Gunnar let them down multiple ways the entire weekend, and it was his homecoming because he's from Selma, Alabama, and they said he had over 200 family members there, and
They say
he
family
didn't do
members.
anything. He didn't do anything. I can remember. I watched every game, every inning this week, every play. He made one good play in the field, and that's it. That's all I can remember.
Well,
Other than that,
he made a couple good plays, but I
he
mean,
played.
and I think he only had one hit all weekend, didn't he?
Yeah. So in his last 7 games, right? What do you think he's hitting?
Probably about 100.
Less.
Uh, well,
Point or zero nine
well, they either
95. He's hitting 95.
What do you think it might be better off to just either send him to AAA for a month, get him back going, or hire some real hitting batting coaches, not that amateur crap they got, or let him put him at one position instead of moving him around every game.
I think it potentially. No. I think at this point he has to get sit down. You can't keep him in the lineup. He's a liability. He's
Well,
100% a liability.
why would
There's
you
other
send?
guys who I'm
Well,
going to talk on after we break
I
Gunner
was going to
down
say, why would
who
you send
deserve it. There's
down when you
there's
only got?
like 3 other guys who deserve it.
Yeah, they're batting well over 300.
4. Raymond Urias should start every game over him. Hell, I
How
would take
about
Jackson.
on Norfolk?
Yeah, we'll get to him. I'm just saying in majors right now. Urias should start every game. He's hitting probably like 285 ish around there.
He only won a Gold Glove last year.
Yeah, well, he made a terrible play today, but
Well,
um, Gunnar has played 21 of the 30 games he's played this year at third base, so he's been there majority of the time. So it's not like he's moving around a ton, but he's so today he was 0 for 5 today, 2 strikeouts. He was 0 for 4 yesterday, 2 strikeouts. So in his last 9 at bats, he's 0 for 9 with 4 strikeouts. Something's wrong. He wasn't this bad last year. So to take a look at his stat line last year in 34 games, very small sample, but he's had played 30 games this year. So right, almost the exact same. And
I've told you before. I don't have any faith in their hitting coaches. They're dual hitting coaches who were minor league stalwarts and as coaches, and they decided to put these guys up there. And you can look at almost every case of someone they brought up. They come up, they stay hot, and they get worse and worse and worse. And he's a perfect example of that. Mountcastle, MVP in the International League, and he doesn't hit jack. He occasionally has a big game, but he's batting 250. Santander, he never improves. Vavra, whatever his name is, he hit everywhere he'd been. He gets up there, he can't hit. Stowers
mhm.
ripping the ball in AAA last year and this year, comes up here, he can't hit anything. Because
Well,
they're
again,
not helping him, and you got to blame somebody, right?
yeah, I guess you do, but I think that let's stay on for just Gunnar Henderson here. But eh, take a look right now. Last year in 116 at bats, he struck out 34 times. Okay, this year in 91 at bats, he's already struck out 35 times, so he struck out more. He has 7 RBIs this year as opposed to 18 last year. In his next 17 or 20 whatever at bats, he's not going to get 11 RBIs. He has 3 home runs. He might get that. He has no triples, and someone at his speed should have triples. He has 3 doubles,
You
but
got to hit
hell,
the ball to
he
get
only has
trophies.
16 hits total. He has 28 total bases, and last year he had 51 in roughly the same amount of time.
Yeah,
He hit 259 last year, on base at 348, slugging 440, OPS 780. And, those aren't great numbers, but for a guy who's just making his debut and late in the season last year, like he did, those
at
are
age
not
20,
that bad numbers. Yeah.
like age
So
20, yeah.
this year he's hitting 176. Horrible.
And
He's
his
on base.
his he's beat mentally. You can watch his body language.
He needs to go down. He has to go down. That's what's wrong with Gunnar Henderson. It's like you said, it's screwing up with his head, and I don't know if he can come back. I mean, I just if you're this bad, look at Jared Kelnick. It took him 2 years to overcome when he had that terrible start. Spencer Torkelson was supposed to be as good, almost as good a prospect as him, and he's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
He's never got it. You see these guys all the time who come up and are supposed to be these superstar athletes, these superstar hitters, and something for whatever reason happens, and they're nothing.
Right.
They're nothing. And it's not like Gunnar was supposed to be a superstar. I thought, and I'm wrong. I will admit I'm very wrong on this. He was going to be a front runner for
Rookie of the year. Hey,
AL Rookie of the Year. No chance. He's not even going to finish top 20. He shouldn't. He don't deserve it.
not right now.
He's not. He's Grayson Rodriguez is not even doing good, but he's
No.
better than him. A rookie. Uh,
Grayson has not impressed me yet. If you listen to Oriole fans, they think they're both. They're like, well, they're this and that. Well, no, they're not right now. Then the team's not that good, regardless of the record, because they don't have a manager.
I agree with that, but let's take a look real quick at some other players, who are hyped up like Gunner, and just for whatever reason, tell me if you remember any of these guys. Danny Goodwin from the California Angels. You ever
Yeah,
remember him?
I do.
He hit 313 in the minors, and he hit 236, so he's higher than Gunner. I would be happy if Gunner was hitting 236.
Right
He
now,
was never. You remember Donovan Tate for the Padres?
absolutely.
All right. What about Steve Chilcott for the Mets?
Yeah, he's first, second overall pick in '66, I think.
Yep.
Hey, a little tip. I was living, but anyway, go ahead.
Matt Bush.
Yeah, well, Matt Bush is a pitcher now. He's with the Rangers
Yeah,
last year.
yeah. And then Clint Hartung, who was a pitcher right fielder for the New York Giants a long time ago for him.
No, I don't
Um,
remember him.
yeah, I don't think you would, but it's just like remember Brady Aiken,
Yeah, I
someone
remember.
like him. These guys who are superstars. Was it
Well,
Brady Aiken
there's a
taken
bunch
like
of them
first?
that they miss.
It wasn't Brady Aiken. He was like one of the top prospects. He was the first overall selection,
With Houston,
and Yeah,
And
never
they
even made
didn't
it at a
sign it.
high
He
A.
didn't sign it because he's hurt.
So it's concerning that he's not doing this good, and
He
it's
does
really
have
messing with
time on
his
his side.
focus. What?
He does have time on his side. He's still a young player.
His clock started. He only but
I wouldn't
it's
give up on him. I might send him down for a
I'm
month.
not giving up on him, but I think he needs to go to Norfolk.
Yeah, I do too. That might
And
help him more than they think.
but if he goes to Norfolk, that brings us to the following
Where
part.
is he going to
Who's
play?
going to get caught up?
Where's
So
he going
let's
to
take a
play?
look. Let's talk about that. So take a look at Norfolk Tides right now, the minor league affiliate for the Baltimore Orioles. They're 24-8, and this is not an Orioles show. We're just talking about who could replace Gunnar potentially. And this is top prospect talk. However, you have one on the count two, three guys right now on the Tides who deserve to be there in Baltimore, and they're not in Baltimore.
But yeah, look at like
First one, I think Taryn Vavra deserves to be up there.
yeah. Well,
He's
but see,
hit.
here's the thing about him. When he was there this year, they don't play him regularly. And him, like a lot of guys like Stowers, they don't play regular. When they did last year, they hit. When they go to AAA, they hit. When they come to Tides, I mean, up here, they got people like Santander and Urias and Mateo blocking them. Okay, Mateo's what he is, and his average is coming down. Santander's been hot for a week, all year, just a week, okay? Uh,
Yep.
Urias, he ain't going to end up hitting 299. He never has before. He's like a 240 hitter. Those guys are blocking people. They're still technically in a rebuild, regardless of what they say. So why not bring the young guys up? And they're not the only team that way, but they have more talent in the farm system than anybody else.
Yeah, but talking more about the players who should go up, and the biggest one I think, Joey Ortiz has already been up
And he
this
did
year. He
okay.
had very limited action, only 8 at bats, but this year in minor leagues, he is hitting 337 and 89 at bats. There's no reason he should be
What
down
what
there
is
in
what is
Gunnar Henderson's
Westbury's
top three.
numbers? What are
That's what I
Westbury?
think. Westberg, to me, is the one who deserves it the most out of that.
How many homers and RBIs? What's he hitting?
Jordan Westberg, who is a born in '99, he was a competitive balance pick in 2020. He's 24 years old,
Right,
and he is in 108 at bats. He's got 36 hits, 8 home runs, 29 RBIs, 4 stolen bases, hitting 333.
right. And is that not
Time.
beating down the door to get up there? And last year he had 100 RBIs.
It's time. Yeah, let's take a look. Last year he hit 265, 27 home runs, 106 RBIs. So Westberg deserves it, and them keeping Gunner up there is just
Oh,
it's
and Frazier be another
cool.
person blocking him, another old guy.
Yeah.
And I like it.
Frazier comes through. I like Frazier though, and
Oh,
Frazier's doing better
and the
than
and the and the biggest travesty is McKenna being up there. Yeah, he's hit a little bit, and his average come up because he's had so few at bats. But usually when he gets in there, just like someone can say, "Well, he's hitting almost 300." Yeah, when they needed him last night at clutch, he strikes out looking stupid, and most times that's what he does at the plate.
But that ends the Gunnar Henderson talk here, and I guess we can go to our regular scheduled program, talk about the stats real quick, and our thoughts of the week, everything like that, if anything stood out. But take a look quickly at the AL East. No change really at the top. We got Baltimore at second, and the Tampa Bay Rays at first. The Tampa Bay Rays have a 28 wins and 7 losses. They are 8-2 in their
Comeback
last
today,
10 games. They were playing
Yankees.
Yankees, correct. Baltimore, who is 22-12, still very good. They
Well, let's
lost one.
hold on one second. When we say Baltimore, they went into Atlanta, won on Friday, then lost the next two games by 1 run. They definitely prove they are to contend with, but they're not. They have not hit their stride. They're not playing good. Their record,
We'll see tomorrow.
yeah, well, yeah, Tampa. They got to take 2 out of 3 out of that.
Gotcha.
But
Yeah, Toronto, who is next in the AL East, are 21-14. They are one of the wild card teams, as are the Orioles. And the biggest surprise of the year,
they won 8.
not the Orioles, not the Pirates, it's the Boston Red
Did
Sox.
they win today?
They are 21-5, 8-2 in their last 10 games. Unreal.
They had won 8 in a row. I don't know if they counted today or not, but
Today they lost their last game, but they play Atlanta coming up this week, so it could be a
uh,
struggle for them.
Atlanta's the best team I've seen all year.
Maybe
Well, I've seen Tampa a little bit, but
Atlanta's my World Series pick, so I think they're good too. But I don't know. I'm
they
gonna keep
got.
my personal thoughts to myself about
What
them.
about Acuna? You've seen him. You've seen his 3 games this weekend. He's amazing, isn't he? He's one of
He
the
didn't
top
hit
5
that,
players in
he didn't
baseball.
hit that much. He was like 0 for 5 today.
Okay, yeah, but he probably damn near won the game with that throw in the extra innings. Picked
Yeah, I think Austin Hayes was crawling. I'm walking.
Austin Hayes is above average speed too, but anyway.
But the Yankees, another shocker here, they are 4-6 in the last 10, and they are last in the division, barely over
Other than Cole,
500, 17.
remember we
Their record is very indicative of how they are. I think again a big stat is run differential. They're +3. They're right at
the league
break even or almost negative.
the league will have to
Um,
give them juice balls to hit or something again.
well, every team really, the Yankees are, you know, only 5 games behind the Orioles, so there's very little separation. At least the
Yeah, well,
best.
hold on. Yeah, but that's in 33 games, already 5 behind them,
Oh, I know. I'm
and
just
they're like 8 games out of first.
their offense is the worst in the AL East, and their pitching is the second best in the AL East. So they don't hit.
Well,
That's their problem, and they get injured a lot. And Rodon, I think I heard he's out indefinitely. Still, he's still having problems,
he's
and
not
there's
even
no.
yet. I don't think
There's,
it.
there's he, they'll be lucky, I think, by All Star break because when it's time for him to come back, he's going to have to rehab 2 or 3 starts anyway in Syracuse.
Well, he's gonna have to build his arm strength up so he can go, and
Yeah,
he'll get hurt again. Probably knowing him,
maybe he's like Samson. The power was in the beard.
maybe.
Going to the AL Central, a pillow fight division. If you look at that, then how about this? If the Yankees were in the AL East or AL Central, they would be a half game behind the Minnesota Twins.
And the Twins
And the Twins are first
anything?
place. The Twins are first place. They have lost 2 games in a row, and they're going to San Diego, which is not looking good for them.
No, because
Um,
Tatis is warming up.
Yes, he is. 19 and 20, 19 and 16, excuse me. They do have a +26 run differential, so that is actually good. Cleveland Guardians, 16 wins and 18 losses. So they're a couple games behind already, 4 games behind Detroit, Detroit's actually doing pretty good
They're
racing.
pretty hot right now.
They are doing really good. They are 6-4. They go to Cleveland this week. The Shy Sox,
They won a
I
couple, I think, but they're not big.
and yeah, they're still they're terrible. Surprisingly terrible. I think they're going to sell off a lot of guys. Look for my boy
Yeah,
Eloy Jimenez. I think they're going to sell a lot of people. Tim Anderson, is he 30? He's rough. Yeah, I think he's 30. Isn't he?
yeah. If I needed him on my favorite team, I'd take him, but we don't need him. He's great.
I bet some guys get traded. I bet they'll try to unload Kopech. I bet they try to
Why
unload
would you want
Clevenger.
Kopak? Who would want Kopak?
No, because someone's going to want to think they can fix them. I bet they unload Clevenger too, and Dylan Cease.
Well, no, no. Other Cease is the only one they got that's really good. Clevenger isn't having a good year.
Someone will think Clevenger.
Yeah,
Then you got Kansas City, who,
they're atrocious.
yeah,
And
it's
they got
sad.
guys that look like they could be pretty good, but it's just not happening. Prado's doing okay. Bobby Witt's not really hitting. He seemed like he's Pasquantino.
He hits if he plays the Orioles.
Yeah, well, they still lost 2 out of 3 at home to them.
Yeah, but
Case,
then
but then they
going to the
then they play Oakland and lose the first 2 of the series.
yeah, but they're playing the White Sox. I'm sure that'll be a hotly contested affair.
Yeah,
But going to the AL West, we have the Texas Rangers, 20 wins and 13 losses. They have won their last 2 games. Their run differential is second best in the entire American League,
and
85.
Degrom's out for at least 2 weeks.
That's surprising. He never gets hurt. But then going to the Angels, Angels are surprised.
Uh-huh.
They
They
have
got a
lost
lot of
2 games in
talent.
a row. They lost 2 games in a row. They don't want to get too high over 500 because they're a 500 team typically. So they don't want to get too high there. Houston has lost 2 games in a row. They're
Hey,
just
I'll
500.
just say this though. Let's see where Houston's at in 2 months.
I maybe agree. I think Texas has a lot of talent, man.
They do. They do.
They got talent
But
pitching
they keep.
and field.
But Degrom getting hurt. If anybody else, they're gonna be in trouble.
They got offensively though. They got the best infield in baseball.
And you say Seager's coming back this week, I think, isn't he?
They got Lowe, yeah. They got Lowe, Simeon, Seager, and Young. Young's
Young,
arguably the pick of the year,
I like him a lot. He's impressive to me.
wearing the one glove, man.
Yeah, I like him.
He's good. And then got the like I said, Seattle Mariners. They escaped you from there. They are 17 and 17,
Yeah, and
tied for
who's the
third
guy that's
place.
doing good for them that you didn't think had 2 bad years? What's his name?
Kelnick.
Oh, okay. I just want
Thank you, MLB the show. I thought it was Kelnick. I swear I thought.
apologize to me in front of our audience.
And then we have the Oakland A's bringing up the.
Can't see you.
Oakland A's only have 8 wins on the whole year.
We're seeing half of you.
Okay, well, you're screwed up. But anyway, the Oakland A's only have 8 wins on the year. They're 8-27, negative 124 run differential. Moving on to the NL East, the Atlanta Braves are 24-11, Miami Marlins 17-18, Mets 17-18,
Hold on,
Philadelphia.
time out. The Mets. Let's look at the Mets. Everybody predicted them, except us, to be this great team.
The amazing
Their
Mets.
roster's garbage. I mean,
Well, maybe if one player who didn't cheat,
who?
Max Scherzer. Let's talk about him real quick.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
a big news story.
How's he doing since they caught him?
So they caught him cheating. Obviously, if you're watching this at 25 minutes in, you probably know they caught him cheating. He came back and was horrible, god awful player. And looking at the lineup here, let's take a look. Is it Brandon Nimmo?
Yeah,
He's hitting 310 on the
I
year.
like.
Lindor, 217. Jeff McNeil, 289, low for him.
Yeah.
Pete Alonso is a boom or bust. He is nothing else now, and
Well, hey,
he's hitting 235.
who's a bust since they got him as Lindor? His numbers are nothing like what they were in Cleveland, and he's got a
Yeah,
lot more help around him. What's he betting? 220 maybe.
yeah. We'll
Yeah.
take a look here at Pete Alonso. His last 7 games, he's hitting 130, so they're giving him the Gunnar Henderson
And you know
treatment.
what? And they have no catcher. They got that little chubby rookie guy who they think's
Mhm.
gonna be good, but he's not doing that much. But they had McCann, who's a very solid player, as I've been watching him, and he's getting a lot of playing time at Baltimore, and he does a very solid job. And plus, he's got really big biceps.
Pete Alonso is striking out about 60% of the time,
Power hitter,
or no,
power hitter.
I'm sorry, 30, 40% of the time.
Well, he just warming up for the home run contest. That's the biggest thing in his life.
I don't like him. People think he's goofy. To me, he's like Rob Gronkowski, he's just a big dumb idiot. I don't know. I just don't like him.
I don't know him enough.
I don't know. He's just a big fat guy.
When we get to doing interviews, better be careful what you say. These big dumb idiots are going to be smacking you around.
That. Come on. I need some of Stephen Cohen
Okay,
money.
and they got, like I said, catcher now. Third base, I like Brett Beatty over there. I hope they keep him there. He last I checked, he was doing pretty good. I like him a lot. But their pitching
Either
staff's a joke. And you remember when we were talking about the teams, the previews, the Mets? Didn't I say that Verlander and Scherzer might hit a wall at some point because they're getting old?
Yeah.
Maybe Scherzer's hitting. I like him because I'm a big proponent of the Nationals, and he was the man for the Nationals for years, and he was great, and you know that. But anyway,
Well, Scherzer's a fantastic player. But let's take a look real quick at their pitching staff. Their starting pitching staff. It is so Tyler McGill, who started 7 games.
McGill, see with Miss McGill.
He has a 4.3, which not great.
Not enough to
David
be first.
David Peterson has started 6 games, and get this, so he said one complete game. So I'm assuming his runs were pretty low that game, but his ERA in 30 innings is 7.3. Kodai Senga, who's doing good for
He's
a rookie. I think he's doing fantastic. 3.3. That's great. He's our
yeah,
best pitcher.
yeah.
Then you got Max Scherzer. Max Scherzer, 5 games, 5.5 ERA, the worst he's ever had in his entire
Didn't
career.
Verlander get one start?
Yes.
What happened there? I didn't check.
5 innings, 2 earned. Take a look here at Scherzer. So 22 innings, he's given up 22 hits, 20 strikeouts. So strikeouts are down for his career.
Yeah, because he's usually well
Overall,
below
his
the
numbers.
strikeout per inning guy.
His WHIP is 1.4, and his opponent batting average 2.59. Those numbers too, when he came back from his suspension, which he said he didn't do swear in his kid's life, but refused to even file an appeal. Homeboy was cheating. There's no two ways about it. He was cheating. He came back. They're going to watch him extra hard now, and he's doing crap. So let's see. They don't have much, man. I just, who knows about them, but um, I don't know.
I mean, I hope they do okay, but I'm more of a Braves fan in that division. But I wouldn't mind seeing the Mets do good. I've always kind of for the Mets,
You know
but
why they call them the Amazing Mets?
because they amazingly lose every year.
No, because they're amazing. But going off of them, we have the Philadelphia Phillies. I think the cool story about that, Bryce
Brett,
Harper came back and
Bryce.
already hit a home run.
Yeah, I know he's doing good. He's ripping. Hey,
He's
hey,
doing good,
he's one of the
man.
best players in baseball, man. He always has been.
100%. He's an MVP guy every single year. He's already Hall of Famer. 100%. He could retire today. 2 MVPs get you in 300 home runs roughly.
He's here live in studio with us right now.
Yeah, he's wearing his Nationals gear. But
Yeah.
taking a look at the NL Central, the Cinderella story is over. The Pittsburgh
Yeah,
Pirates are back to normal. They have lost 7 games in a row.
they're
But the
back to
good news
garbage.
is that division is a toilet bowl with a big turd in it. So they're still first place. And they have a half-game lead over the Milwaukee Brewers. The Shy Cubs are 500 at 17-17. The Cincinnati Reds 14 and
The
20.
Reds have been playing better lately, haven't they?
They are 5-5 in the last 10, and
Well, that's
they've
better
lost
for
the.
them.
But the biggest surprise, St. Louis 11-24. They are falling apart. They are not only bad, they are by far and away the
Atrocious.
worst team in the National League.
We,
Have they ever been the worst team in the National League in your lifetime?
uh-uh. Well,
That's crazy.
let's look at their pitching staff.
Miles Mikolas, man.
Yeah, that's it.
Wainwright didn't do anything.
Has he pitched yet?
He pitched, yeah.
Yeah, but
Let's see.
there's not much there.
Cardinals. So the Cardinals pitching staff, Jack Flaherty, 7 starts, 6.2 ERA. Steven Matz, 7 starts, 5.7. Miles Mikolas, 7 starts, 5.7 ERA. Jordan Montgomery, 3.2. So he's good. I'm willing to bet he's not there much longer.
Well,
Adam
I've never
Waite.
seen them sell.
Well, you've
Well, at least
never seen him this
yeah,
bad.
that's true.
He's And Wainwright had one. He's 5 innings, 4 runs, and he's like 47 or 48 years old. So I don't necessarily expect him to rebound
Yeah,
too much.
I think he was a rookie when I was in high school. But anyway,
Going over to the NL West, all is right in my predictions. The Los Angeles Dodgers 8 and
yeah,
2 in
they're
their last
hot.
10, 21 and 14 taking over the first place. Arizona Diamondbacks surprisingly still up there in the wild card. Still a little early to talk about wild card, but hell, they're in it. You got them at 19 and 15, 6 and 4 in their last 10. San Diego Padres 18 and 17.
They're coming.
Um, yeah, well, they're 6 and 4, so they're coming. San Francisco Giants 5 and 5, 15 wins
Hey,
and 8
speaking
losses.
of the Giants, can we talk about the pitcher on their staff for a minute with the best ERA?
Go ahead.
Alex Cobb, your buddy,
Yes.
2.01. Okay, I just want to say that because I know you're a big fan of his.
No, he just no. Anyway, yeah, and the Colorado Rockies bringing up the rear of the field in the NL West at 14 wins and 21 losses, 6 and 4 in their last 10. So, what I guess the biggest surprise here, I think Pittsburgh's back to
Dying.
earth.
Right.
Pittsburgh's down. St. Louis to me is crazy. Milwaukee's going to win that division. That's a shocker. I didn't think they would make the playoffs this year,
I'll
but
tell you
they
something
will.
surprising to me too is how atrocious KC and Oakland are. I mean, I knew they were going to be bad, but my God, they're a joke.
They're still in single digit wins,
I bet the
and
Norfolk Tides would pound their butt.
I don't know about.
They hit everybody, and they certainly hit. I mean, because look at their pitching staffs; they're jokes.
Well, Oakland, they're playing the Yankees, and they're probably not going to beat the Yankees.
Oakland, the Yankees are going to go on a winning streak.
Yeah, well, hell, everyone who plays the Oakland A's goes on a winning streak. But what if I told you this? The home run leader or top 5 home run leader
Is on
plays for the
Oakland.
Oakland Athletics. Yeah.
I know. One of the Twins
Brent,
rejects.
and the Royals rejects. So you got Brent Rooker out there. But yeah, what else you want to talk about? We're kind of running a little bit longer tonight, but
Yeah, get through it. Just that one of my pitchers, I always talk about how great he is McClanahan. Unfortunately, he's going to pitch against Baltimore tomorrow. He's going for his 7th win tomorrow, and from what he usually does, and he's from Baltimore. In Baltimore, he'll probably get his 7th win tomorrow.
yeah.
So I hope not, but he probably will. Steele with Chicago Cubs is still pitching good, real good. He's got 5 wins, ERA 145, and you got to see Strider probably for the first time this week. What'd you think of him on Atlanta?
He didn't look too good that game.
Yeah,
But
and
no, he's a power guy. He's a big power pitcher. His legs are ginormous.
I know that's where he gets that power from. Yeah, WHIP. I have to mention this because it's Oriole. Still league leader in the WHIP is Wells.
Tyler Wells.
Yeah, from the Orioles. Pitched good, yeah, pretty solid yesterday. His last 2 outings have been solid, you know. But
Who do you think leads the league in OPS?
I do not know.
Brent
But
Rooker. Brent
wow.
Rooker. He's hitting 319, 10 runs, 26 RBIs. He's ahead of Sean Murphy, Matt Diaz. Matt Diaz, has 17 doubles already.
And they got Ruiz. I guess it is. He's the league in steals. He's I like him. He's an exciting player to watch. He's fast, plays field, and he's hitting okay.
Well, that we're running a little bit long here, and we kind of touch on some new stories, talk about standings, everything like that. But check our website; we are updating these stats now every week. So look at there and let's see the whip, defensive run save, some analytical stuff there as well. But John, I will go ahead and let you do the sign off unless there's anything else you want to touch on.
I think that'll do it. So with
Stay
that
nasty.
with that being said, that's all for now, folks. We'll catch you next time on Brooks Knows.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, Tom Boy.